In the last video I uploaded, I purchased the new welder, and it's a Bobcat 225G, and I want to put it in my mechanic's truck. A bed that was about 3 inches, maybe 4 inches taller than the sides, and I would like to sit the welder up against the back of the cab. And my original idea was to sit the front of the welder inside this cabinet. So when you open up this cabinet, you would have access to the welder, and that would also keep it out of the weather a little bit and maybe last a little bit longer. So to make that happen, I'm going to cut the front bottom of the bed out and weld a lower area of the bed for the welder to sit down inside, and then I'm going to cut the side of this panel open, pull those drawers out, and shove the welder closest to the doors that I can get in. Cut out and ran into, well, the beams that support the floor. They're just some U-channel. Did a little inspection hole here. I'm glad I did because I could see what was going on, and I'll cut a piece back out and weld this up. And then I need to put a floor about 4 inches down so I can recess that welder about 4 inches, and probably do some drain holes in it and clean it up and paint it with some undercoating or something. And I need to cut an access hole in here, and I'll cut it up to, it looks like I can get by about 3/4 of an inch at the top, and tuck the face of the welder back in the hole. So for now, it's off to the scrapyard to get some stuff, get some metal, and we'll go from there. Cut the panel out of the back of this cabinet and threw the internal trays out on the ground out here. And the welder should come inside quite a bit, and so there should be some storage in the bottom and just a little bit of storage on the sides. Maybe I can roll the cables up. I couldn't get the welder any closer to the front because of this beam, and I really didn't want to re-engineer this bed. I probably could have made it happen, but I'm trying to keep things simple. And so that's it. So now I got to build a frame this bottom in and drop this area about 4 inches, and that's what I'm working on now. That is from the floor that I cut out. Of course, I kind of had I wouldn't say a mishap, but I started to cut this thing a little narrower and ran into a beam, and then I cut a little square out so I could do some exploratory measures. And you know, hindsight, I probably wouldn't have done that again, but I just welded the piece back in, so it's no big deal. And this is going to be the bottom where the generator welder sits, so no harm done. What I'm going to do now is weld some risers on the sides, and then I'll drop this in there and weld it in place, and it's coming together. I'm just now starting to put this tray back in, and as you can see, that's the tray that the welder is going to sit on. I've got the corners kind of cut out, so if this pan were to collect water, it would leak out. But there's also this big gap in the front, and it should leak out in the front too. And I'll pop some holes in the bottom of this cabinet and do some undercoating. But I want to put a some type of canvas cover on this, so most of the rain will not be able to get in this pan anyhow. But you never know. So making a little more headway. Here's the outside shot of what it looks like installed. I still need to button some things up, and when I seal it up, the snow won't get in here. But the weather just hasn't been helping, so it's not really on my side yet. But that's the whole concept, is you can get to this thing from outside the truck and not have to climb inside. And like I said, when I seal it up on the inside, it'll be outside of the weather, and that should help protect it. On this, and the weather's not warm, and I don't have a heated garage to work in, so this is probably going to wait till springtime before I finish it up. But what I have intentions on doing is to put some angle aluminum here, and basically outline the top and the sides, go all the way down to the bottom, and here all the way across and all the way back and up the back and across the top. And I'll weld all of that tight and make sure it's sealed to the bottom. That way if there's any runoff water and the truck bed's leaned one way or the other, it won't run down this pit here. And I'll pop a hole in the corner and pop another hole back here in the corner, just as some drainage holes. And then what I'll do from there is I'll either make a metal canopy of some sort that will either just sit on here, or I'll fabricate a canvas button on top. But just something to seal this up from the extremities when I'm not using it. Should make this thing last a long, long time. But so far I'm pretty happy with how it turned out.